Modern spirituality can often feel like an exhausting, endless battle. We are constantly told to quiet our minds, crush our bad habits, and wage an all-out war against our own egos. But there is a trap hidden in that struggle. When you fight your ego, you are treating a psychological illusion as if it were a physical reality, and the harder you push against it, the more rigid and real it seems to become. An ancient Indian text, the Ashtavakra Gita, offers a specific analogy for this. Imagine walking into a dark room and seeing a massive, terrifying shadow stretching across the wall. You might freeze and panic, fold your hands, beg for mercy, or desperately try to figure out what weapons you need to defeat this monster. But you don't fight a ghost. You just turn on the light. And the moment you do, you see it was only a coat hanging on a hook the entire time. That light is the state of witnessing. You don't actually kill the ego. You simply observe it, until you realize it was never really there to begin with. To understand our usual approach, look at this map of the human mind. The outermost layer is action, what we physically do. Step one layer inside to the realm of thought. Go even deeper, and you reach emotion. Traditional paths treat meditation like diluted medicine, mixing it into outer layers through mindful work or study. Ashtavakra offers a radical alternative. You bypass action, thought, and emotion entirely, jumping straight to the absolute core, the witness. This philosophy was heavily interpreted by Osho, who highlighted how unusual this direct approach is compared to almost every other tradition. Because the witness is not an action you perform or a state you gradually achieve, it is your base nature. In this view, the path and the destination are the exact same thing. But this brings up a logical trap that catches almost everyone. How are you supposed to surrender to this state if your ego is still intact? It's a false premise. Asking whether you drop the ego first or surrender first is like debating whether the chicken or the egg came first. In the ancient view, the egg is just the bird in a hidden state, and the bird is the egg revealed. They are two states of the exact same thing, just like the two sides of a single spinning coin. Waiting until you can achieve 100% surrender before you even start is a clever trick your mind plays to avoid doing the work. You don't need absolute perfection. You only need to surrender 1 single degree to begin. Think about learning to swim. You don't throw yourself into the middle of the deep ocean on day 1. You step into the shallow water, right near the edge, just to test if it will hold your weight. The physics of the water naturally lifts you up, effortlessly reducing your physical weight and supporting your entire body on the surface. People don't drown because the water pulls them down. They sink because they panic, thrash around, and swallow water. Surrender is not a terrifying leap into an abyss. It is the realization that existence supports you the moment you stop fighting it. Once you stop fighting, the results look very different from what we usually expect. Entering the witness state doesn't turn you into a cold, unfeeling statue. Instead, your harsh boundaries begin to melt. Society, especially for men, has deeply conditioned us to view emotional vulnerability and tears as signs of weakness or failure. We are taught to be tough, guarded, and unshakable. But tears are just an overflow mechanism. They don't only happen when you're sad. When joy, gratitude, or the sudden shock of recognizing the truth becomes too massive for the body to contain, it spills over physically. We tend to praise the rock for its strength because it is hard and immovable, but the rock is completely dead. A flower is fragile, yet it is vibrantly alive. Its vulnerability is proof of its vitality. And over time, water, the softest, most yielding element on Earth, will carve straight through that dead granite. True strength doesn't require rigid discipline or burying your emotions. It takes immense courage to remain soft, receptive, and sensitive in a world that asks you to be a stone. This brings us to a final distinction between culture, what is known as Sanskriti, and universal truth, or Dharma. Changing your clothes, wearing specific beads, or reading ancient texts are simply cultural milestones. They are habits and traditions imposed from the outside, not actual spiritual liberation. This is exactly why thinkers like Jiddu Krishnamurti actively rejected organized methods and rituals, searching instead for a direct truth stripped of all cultural conditioning. True Dharma is not a list of rules to follow. It is the invisible, unifying thread that holds all of existence together, connecting the stars, the trees, and you into a single web. Realizing this is an act of rebellion. It is a total rejection of the idea that you have to somehow earn your peace through decades of strict practices and societal approval. You do not need to spend your life climbing a mountain to find the truth. If you simply stop, open your eyes, and witness, you'll realize you are already sitting on the peak.